the dreams and the goals are still there. You know what I mean? Like they're still in line.
100%. They gotta be, man. You gotta. What are we without our dreams? You know, I always tell people,
Facts.
it's like, you know, anyone can do what we're trying to do, what we're trying to achieve. No one else can do. And I know that sounds harsh and pretentious to say, but it's the reality. No one can do what Quentin
Yeah.
Tarantino
A
does.
lot
No
of
one can
people,
do
yeah, a lot
what
of
the
people just don't
artist,
want
you
to
know?
try it. Like, like a
Exactly,
lot of
man.
people are scared to like kind of like take that risk. It is a risk at the end of the day, but like, yeah, so is everything else. So
100%, man. And you know, like I said, I'm a huge advocate of music. I use it to tell my stories. You've seen it in my content. Like music,
100%,
without music, it would be nothing, right? And people
100%.
actually have praised me for that use of music, like my talent for that kind of ear. Like I know what music is good and what's like suits a certain subject matter. And what I'm trying to get at is I fascinated with a musician and how they're able to create the tunes, the vibes, set the mood, and just like understanding that creative process. So before I get into that, you know, I've seen you so far, like I said before, you've been posting like banger after banger. I see like people, yeah, I'm
Respect,
serious, man.
respect. I
It's a
appreciate
cool
that for
vibe.
real.
It's a cool vibe, man. It's different
Mhm.
music. Like everyone's doing pop nowadays, but you're
Yeah.
doing something different. You know, it's a different
Mhm.
tone. And you know, I even was voicing it before the podcast. Like I see it in the stuff that I'm trying to do because I'm into dark and edgy storytelling. And if
Mhm.
you, we call it score, right, in film. So
Even
if we
like
can
your
put
script writing, I remember you were doing script writing for a while, and you were always like really good
100%.
at telling stories like that. Like it's actually crazy.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah. So a lot of stuff that I plan to do and incorporating music, I think is essential. So nevertheless, I always wanted to know what was it about the art of music that made you want to create your own?
I don't know what it was. I feel like ever since like I was young, at least like I kind of always like gravitated towards like music and kind of always like emulated this like inner like passion for music. Like when I was like a little kid, um, I remember my parents took us out to like visit a family that we had in Detroit, and like he had like my uncle had a drum set in the basement, and I had like never really touched like a live instrument or anything before. So like I was just kind of like messing around in the drums and like kind of like picked up the rhythm. Like it was kind of like natural, like came up, like my dad kind of came downstairs and was like, oh my God, like I
Dope.
didn't even know that was you. Like that's kind of sick, Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So like it was always like a thing for me. And then like I ended up getting my own drum kit, like kind of was like hammering away on the drums for a couple years. And then like I played like trumpet in high school 1 year just because like I wanted to like do something different. But like it was always kind of there, like something that I like, even just like listening to music from you, like ever since I was a kid, was always like something that kind of like was
Right.
different for me because I would like really dissect like the lyrics and like what a song was about and the message that it was trying to tell. And like it was kind of like another like form of language for me, you know what I mean? Like that was always really cool. And I found interesting was the fact that like, somebody could really like tell a story that like a lot of people might not even really like necessarily understand or like process when they're like listening to it for the first time through, but it's like that there's always this kind of like deeper innate meaning to like the song itself, right? So like yeah, like honestly after that, like in high school, me and my close boy Chris like kind of started DJing and stuff. So like we were DJing like little events and clubs like downtown Toronto, and like like at like Shoeless Joe's, like the restaurant bar, like every single weekend, like mixing and stuff. So we did that for a couple years, and like that was kind of really cool. And then from there kind of got into like production and like digital production and like like stuff like that. But then it wasn't until I met my boy Gabe actually when he came to stay out here in Toronto from Montreal. Shout out to my boy Gabe, and he like kind of like was always like, "Yo, you should try recording music. Like, you should try recording music. Like, I think you'd have a good voice for it." And now, at first, I was always initially like not really about it. I was like, "No, no, it's not really the vibe that I'm going for. Like, that's not really what I'm trying to do. Like, I kind of just want to focus on like DJing and production and like learning production a little bit more." But then eventually one day, like obviously when I was kicking it at his condo, like just kind of like we were messing around, and like had got me recording, and like ever since then it was kind of like something I always kind of fell in love with because I was like, oh, like the fact that like I can like that's my voice and like I can listen to it and it sounds like it's something that came from like inside of me where like I wrote the lyrics and like something that I like kind of like pieced together myself, and like it's like this whole piece of like art at the end, and like I thought it was really cool. And ever since then we were kind of like I kept steady like from there, just kind of like kept going and like trying different things with him and like progressing myself, it's kind of like just always been there though, like ever since I was young, to be honest with you.